Hey, it's me, Rhino, Survival Skills 101, here today with my buddy Rodeo. We'll call this the Rhino Rodeo Show. What do you think? I want to talk to you today about the importance of winter camping for preppers, even if you just do it a little bit, because if a natural disaster happens and you're put out in the cold, that, my friend, is a sure way to get yourself sent to a FEMA camp. The Rhino wants to give you a little piece of advice. If you're a prepper, even an intermediate prepper, and you've never gone winter camping, or you don't go camping at all, well, my friend, you're going to be in for a rude awakening if a disaster happens and you're forced out of your home. What do? Well, you're either outside, maybe you have a camper somewhere, you take up with somebody else, or you go to a FEMA camp. And then let's say in an earthquake, your friends might have their houses damaged and you can't stay with them. And you know what? There have been plenty of times where people have been forced to camp outside. And up in the northern states, half the year is going to be cold. So when you're up there and you've never winter camped and you're thrown out into the elements, how are you going to fare? How are your children going to fare? How is your spouse going to get along? And these are some of the things as a prepper that you need to seriously take into consideration. Now, the Rhino's only been winter camping for about maybe the last 5 years. Before that, I camped all the time in the summer and spring and all of that. And then, I made a commitment that, hey, I'm a serious prepper. And if I'm a serious prepper, I need to experience what winter camping is all about. And sometimes it's damn cold, and I don't like it very much. But you know what? It makes me a better person to be able to survive and understand the needs of the people who are going to be around me and what to expect. I have the right equipment, I have a lot of tents that will help me, and I'm taking steps to get to be even a better winter camper. My next goal is to get myself a hot tent, and what a hot tent is a canvas tent, and it has a stove inside. And Mrs. Rhino has said no all these years, but I'm finally going to get one, I think, this year, and so I'll be camping in my hot tent. Now, there's two kinds of winter camping, just like there's two kinds of regular camping. You can backpack camp, or you can camp in a car. We call it car camping. So I typically try to go car camping as much as I can, especially out in the cold, trying to experience that, trying to acclimatize myself to that. And I've been, backpack camping in the snow a few times. And, it's fun. It's tough, but it's fun, and you have a sled behind you, and you're pulling things, and I think that's a good thing to do as well. And that's what I'm going to be doing. However, if you just want to experience wintertime camping, a couple things you can do. Go car camping, and a lot of state parks, a lot of state campgrounds, say in my state of Idaho, they're open all year round. So you can go camp right there if you want to. I'm not saying that you have to go out in the middle of the woods and camp, although that's what I do. Or if you just want to experience it, but you don't want to have all the hassle of going out and camping, then go out in your backyard. Throw the tent up, camp out there, and see how that is for you. And the Rhino does that every once in a while, too. If I can't get away to go camping, and I just want to go outside and, spend some time out in the cold to acclimatize myself, that's what I do. I'll camp out in the backyard. My family thinks I'm nuts, but, I think it's good for me. Trying to get your family to go, that could be a whole other issue. They don't want any part of that. Although I've taken my family winter camping on a number of occasions. They're fairly okay with it, but they would prefer to go summer camping. But I want to tell you this. If you're going to go camping, you better make it in the winter as well, because you never know when a disaster strikes. And, I guess lastly, you could have a camper, but if there's a disaster, where are you going to find gas, all of that stuff? Maybe that's an idea for you. Or you can always just go to a FEMA camp. And if you're a prepper who's not like any idea of that, they'll certainly take care of you in their own special way. So, are you going to be self-reliant? If you are, then you need to think of all these contingencies about going out and camping, and especially in the winter. I tell you, after a while, it becomes a lot of fun. Being in the outdoors is a really good time, and it's something to do, and especially with your family, having a good time. So try winter camping. Build your way up to it. Sleep outside in your backyard. Then start working up going into winter camping. Do car camping. And finally, if you want to, Go backpack camping with your sled and hot tenting it, all of that stuff. Make snow caves, the whole deal. That's a lot of fun. I also want to make clear that if you're outside, you get kicked out, well, you're going to have the bright idea to go sleep in your car. That's probably the first thing you're going to do. Well, great, now you have some shelter, but it's darn cold. So you need to make some plans for that too. What happens if I have to sleep in my car? Try sleeping in your car. Basically what that is a giant ice box. So you'll experience that. So having lots of blankets, I think that's kind of important. Eventually you might run out of gas and you can't heat the thing the whole time. So you're going to have to experience that as well. I also want to take a moment to add that, after you car camp a while and maybe you don't want to go like winter camping with a sled and all that where you walk in and hike in, you could always do ATVs as well. And if you don't want to buy ATVs, there are a lot of companies nowadays that rent them. So you can go and rent your ATVs or snowmobiles, and that way you can go in and drive on in and go camping in some remote places as well. That's another option for you. No, this is mine, not yours. Mine. Well, there you go, friends. Why you should go winter camping, at least just a little bit. And don't forget the cigars and the booze. For Survival Skills 101, I'm your buddy the Rhino, with my buddy Rodeo. Are you prepared to look forward? I wonder if that gas can is going to be a problem too close to the fire. Now, what's the worst that could happen?